September 27, 2012. This is Justice Done Dirt Cheap. Just want to share some thoughts regarding consent, apparent authority, judicial authority. Now, if someone walked up to you and said, "I demand you give me $50. First of all, most people would say, "What for? Why? Who are you? Am I obligated to give you $50? These are reasonable questions that a thinking individual would ask of someone making demands, surprise demands of payment. Now, how is there anything different when someone walks up to you wearing a uniform? What if the uniform was a big duck costume and they said, "Give me $50. Does just wearing a duck uniform validate their demand for payment? The answer would be no. There has to be some valid claim there. And all one needs to do is say, "Well, I conditionally accept your offer to pay, conditional upon proof of claim that I'm obligated to pay. Can you provide a two-party contract with my signature on it that proves that I've consented to pay $50 for some service or other?" There's got to be an exchange of value for value. They're demanding $50 for something. Well, what is that something? And have you agreed to pay it at some past date? Now, if you take that idea and you put it in the context of, say, in my experience, the City of Fredericton and the City of Fredericton bylaw enforcement officers or the Fredericton Police Force that have been tackled off of bicycles. I've been grabbed, thrown down, arrested, had pain compliance techniques applied to me, which otherwise, if someone other than a police officer is doing it, we'd label it torture. But when police officers do it, they label it pain compliance technique. So I've endured all these things based on individuals running up to me wearing uniforms. They happen to wear police uniforms, but Fredericton police uniforms do not by itself give jurisdiction or authority for those individuals to act any way they want. They must be acting under and according to the law. Now, thinking of that and considering what I've just presented to you, the authority that the Fredericton Police Force gain is from statute. Unless the words of a statute specifically give the Fredericton Police Force the authority to do something, they do not have the authority nor the jurisdiction to do so. They do not have some inherent power to just do whatever they want. They must only act according to statute. And those statutes could be the Criminal Code of Canada, the Provincial Offences Procedures Act. Now, what's interesting is when you think of that, it's reasonable that one demands proof of claim that you're obligated to pay anything. You know, back to the idea of someone just coming up and demanding payment. If one had a contract with another and they just simply forgot about it, then that's okay. The one demanding payment, the onus is on them to provide proof of claim that there is a contractual obligation for payment. No proof of claim, no payment. It's reasonable. If someone demands demands payment without a valid reason for same, and on top of that threatens to use force if we do not pay, that's not only considered fraud, but that can be considered uttering threats. These are criminal code conduct. Now, also, there's a criminal code infraction called nuisance, where basically someone's interfering with your comings and goings unlawfully, and they have no valid reason to do so. It's a criminal code charge under the Criminal Code of Canada. And in my experience, the Fredericton Police Force often act in ways that they, as individuals, can be charged in the Criminal Code of Canada for assault, battery, nuisance. They can be charged for fraud, for demanding what they're not entitled to. And I believe that for myself, I demand proof of claim that I'm obligated to pay anything. It's a simple matter. If I have agreed to do it, then I will honor my contracts. To act honorably means to do what you say what you mean. If you say you're going to do something, do it. So if I said I was going to do something, if I've agreed to it, then by all means I will do it. But at the same time, I am not just going to let people take advantage of me and assert fraudulent claims. So, in my experience, I've been in provincial court over 2 bylaw matters at this point. One of them has already gone to trial and I'm waiting for a decision, and that's regarding bylaw T4 section 15, riding on the sidewalk with a bicycle, and a second bylaw regarding not wearing a helmet in a park, which is just at the beginning stages right now. Now, I demand proof of claim from the City of Fredericton that I'm obligated to pay these bylaw infractions. I'd like proof of claim that these even apply to me. Where does it say in the Act that I, as a man, must pay these bylaw infractions? I can't find those words in the Act. Nor do I see a contractual obligation that I signed at any point that said, if you're residing in the City of Fredericton, then you must pay all bylaw infractions. The wording of the Act is quite interesting, and it basically makes everyone in the City of Fredericton a corporation. And what's interesting is when you look up the definition of bylaw, bylaw is a rule of a corporation, but bylaws only apply to employees of that corporation. As an example, if someone works for, this is an example most people will understand, if someone works for the Walmart Corporation, they're expected to wear a silly blue jacket thingy, a name tag, greet people at the door, and show up for work on time, and when they're scheduled to be. Those are obligations of an employee, not a customer, which is a different type of individual walking through the front doors of Walmart. As a customer, there's no obligation for one to be at Walmart at any time. There's no obligation to wear a blue vest, nor a name tag, nor greet people at the door. If you're an employee of a corporation, one has a contractual obligation to perform according to that corporation's charter and the agreements by contract that one signed when they signed on to work for that corporation. So it seems to me that the bylaws of the City of Fredericton only apply to the employees of the City of Fredericton. The City of Fredericton is a corporation. It's the City of Fredericton. You'll not find the City of Fredericton on a map. What you'll see on a map is a reference to a place called Fredericton. It's different than the corporation known as the City of Fredericton. So on its face, I believe that City of Fredericton bylaws apply only to members of that corporation, employees of the corporation of Fredericton, not to everyone else. And if there's some legal technicality thing that's been created by statutes, such as the Provincial Offences Procedures Act or some other statute, then I'd like to have it clearly shown to me that one is obligated to represent a person who is subject to City of Fredericton bylaws. So far I haven't seen it. I've seen no obligation whatsoever to follow the City of Fredericton bylaws. And the courts are not answering these questions. They're not answering directly the inquiries they're making into this subject. So all for today. I want to thank you for listening. It's Justice Done Dirt Cheap, just sharing some thoughts regarding City of Fredericton bylaw matters. Have a great day.